Picture this. You've lost a ton of weight, 5, 10, 20, 40 kilos, maybe even more. And then everyone started complimenting you. You got really, really positively reinforced. And then, for whatever reason, you slipped up a little. You put a few kilos back on. And now all you're doing is trying as hard as possible to get back to that original weight that you were getting so many compliments at. So much so that you're developing really unhealthy patterns. You're fasting, you're missing meals, you're avoiding carbohydrates, you're exercising more than you should. And as a byproduct, you're binge eating. You're overeating at night, you are stressed, you are so conscious of how your body looks, and it is obsessive. It is the only thing you're thinking about 24/7. Well, in this video, I'm going to tell you exactly how you can walk away from that and you can fix that. And I'm someone that, no, I haven't lost 40 kilos, but I've lost 10, 15 in the past. And I was very positively reinforced. And holidays happened, winter happened, and I put on a bit of weight, only to then see that those positive comments start to go. And that's no one's fault other than myself. I was paying way too much attention to them. And what that led to was a lot of extreme approaches to lose weight quicker and quicker and quicker to get those compliments again and again and again, of which led to my 10-year struggle with binge eating, going in circles, starving myself only to then consume thousands of calories that same evening. And it's what I've been on a mission to help others with over these last 2 to 3 years. So much so that I've coached over 50 people one-on-one to actually get away from this. So I know what I'm talking about is what I want to say. And let's dig into the actual problem here, which is problem around body image more than anything, I would say. And you associating your value, your worth, your status on how you look, not necessarily the actual stuff that really defines a person, how they make others feel, what their values and morals are, how they leave the world. All of that is way more important than simply how the body looks. As I'm talking, there's building work going on downstairs, of course there is. So how can you get out of this loop? How can you stop paying so much attention to what your body looks like, and you can get out, more importantly too, of this spiral you find yourself in where you are chasing this never-ending kind of goal, it feels, and you're tripping over your own 2 feet. Now, I think I have more practical advice and solution for the latter, of how you can stop tripping over your own 2 feet and you can, get back to where you feel satisfied and happy. Understanding though how you can love yourself and be proud of your body regardless of its shape is in my opinion, more complex and subjective journey. And it requires a lot of self-love outside of what the body looks like. It requires you to realize that you are not just your body image, you are, again, what I talked about before, how you treat people, how you view the world, how others view you, etc. And therefore, I think what would be most important or most valuable in this conversation that you're listening to here is for me to tell you how you can stop this cycle of binge eating, of self-sabotage in a way. And the simplest way to do that is by no longer giving yourself this deadline or pressure to lose the weight as quick as possible, because that is the whole reason that you're stuck. You've got this goal weight that you're trying to achieve. You want to get there tomorrow, right? The reality is it's going to take maybe 2 to 3 months to get there. So what happens is you start to drop your calories really low. You maybe restrict your favorite foods. You do intense exercise. And as a result, your body is starving. It's calling out for food. yet you are not listening to it. And what that means is it goes into this survival mechanism, it's a survival type brain, a brain that we used to have a purpose for many thousands of years ago, but nowadays is not the case. Back in the Stone Age, the hunter-gatherer years, we would kill, we would eat, we didn't know when our next kill would be. So we ate all that food as quick as possible because, again, we didn't know when it would next happen. And you see that now in certain animals, particularly bears, crocodiles, lions, sharks. And this is a very maladaptive way of thinking, and it's not necessary anymore because food is in abundance. If I want food, I will simply go over to my fridge there and I will consume it. Or if I don't have any food in my fridge, I will go to the shops and I will buy some. But we still have this wiring in our brain. We haven't forgotten it. So what happens is when you starve your body of energy, either you do too much and you're not fueling properly, adequately, should I say, or you don't consume enough calories, what happens is your brain starts to think, oh crap, we are back in the Stone Age. Apologies about that. Dry lips, it's winter here in Melbourne. And as a result, as soon as it gets a taste for a food that it hasn't had, because it's starving and it's telling you it's hungry, it binges and it gorges on everything because it doesn't know when it's next going to eat. And the best way to get out of this loop is by not starving it anymore, is to have breakfast, have lunch, have dinner, is to eat multiple snacks throughout the day. My best advice to you is 3 meals a day and then 2 to 3 snacks, between 1 to 3 snacks, I would say, because that's going to satisfy the idea that we are eating every 3 to 4 hours, which is necessary because realistically that's when we're getting hungry after a meal. If we're having breakfast at 7 a.m., we're probably going to start getting hungry around 10 or 11. So have a small snack, a piece of fruit, for example. Let's say we have lunch at 12, we're going to get hungry around 3 or 4 p.m. Okay, well maybe I'll have another piece of fruit or maybe a larger snack. We're then going to have dinner around 6 or 8 p.m. for example, and then a few hours later we're in bed. So it's why I recommend having 2 to 3 snacks every single day. Maybe that late afternoon snack is slightly larger than the mid-morning snack, and having your 3 meals. And that is how you can eliminate the binge eating. And look, this is one piece of the puzzle I really want to stress. It's not as easy as just this. There is a complicated web through this journey, and one of those ways is to remove yourself away from tracking and weighing every single gram. That's going to be a really beneficial strategy. There's also ways that you can kind of calm and regulate your nervous system that again are going to have an impact on dopamine levels and dopamine regulation, which ultimately is again going to have really beneficial results to ceasing your binge eating and getting you out of this cycle. There's multiple videos on this page which go into this in a lot more detail, into these specific topics, so I'd really recommend that you dive into further videos. But there is also a free resource in the description of this video which you can consume. That is how you can move away from tracking every single calorie obsessively to never again, and to using ultimately portions and food groups as how you understand quality as well as quantity of intake. So that will be a free download in the description. Feel free to pick it up at no cost. In terms of you wanting to understand how you can get help now though, if you've been going through this cycle for years, sometimes decades, I work with clients who have got a client that's 73, right? Puts it into perspective. If you don't get the help, it can last forever. And if you're sick and tired of going in circles and you do actually want some deep help and support, my best advice is click the link in the bio that says work with me. that will take you to an application form, but it will also tell you a lot more about what I do to help people fix their relationship with food, again, live healthy, happier lives from an exercise and movement point of view, and start feeling a lot healthier and happier. So yeah, that will be everything for this video. I will promote you to consume the others on my page, or reach out if you feel like you are in need of some help as well. Cool. Have a good one, everyone.